Hi, I'm Andrew Salter, and if you've ever looked at the sky on a beautiful day, you've probably been awed by the pure sheet of blue above you. Certainly Irving Berlin was inspired enough to write a whole song about it, but exactly why is the sky blue? Let's find out this time on Now You Know. One response most people might offer is that the sky is blue because it absorbs the other colors of the spectrum and the blue is the only light that's left. The other suggestion might offer that the ocean is blue and the sky reflects that. To both of these, Willy Wonka would reply,
"Strike that. Reverse it."
Before we get to the sky, we should probably start off by talking about light. While the sun is most commonly defined as yellow, that's not quite true. If you were to look directly into the sun, you would go blind. That's a bad idea. Don't do it. Now, if somehow you could look directly at the sun from space, you would still go blind. But just before you did, you'd notice that the light coming from the sun is a very white light, with a color temperature of 5800 Kelvin to be more precise. Now, white light actually contains all colors of the spectrum. Isaac Newton proved this way back in 1672 when he was able to break a ray of light into a visible rainbow using a prism. This is the same mechanism by which rainbows are created, albeit on a much smaller scale. Light travels in a straight line from its source unless it is disturbed by something along the way. Larger particles such as dust and water simply reflect light, which is why if you were to shine a flashlight through a cloud of dust, you'd see the beam, but it wouldn't change color. When light passes through something that is smaller than a wavelength of visible light, such as gas molecules, it is absorbed and then radiated in a scatter pattern. Since blue light is higher frequency, meaning the wavelength is shorter, it tends to get scattered a whole lot more effectively by orders of magnitude than red light. This phenomenon is called Rayleigh scattering, named after English physicist Lord John Rayleigh, who proposed this process in the late 1800s. And so, after a lot of necessary background information, we can finally talk about the sky. Earth's atmosphere is made up of mostly nitrogen and oxygen molecules, and when light rays hit them, lower energy rays such as orange, yellow, and red pass through just fine, but high energy, high frequency light such as ultraviolet, violet, and blue go caroming around through gas molecules, painting the sky an even shade of blue. As the light is forced to travel through more layers of the atmosphere, more of the spectrum is affected by the molecules in the air, and we begin to see different colors in the sky. An extreme version of this effect occurs at sunset, whose breathtaking colors owe a lot to the increased distance light must travel to reach your eyes. By the way, if you know a thing or two about light, you're probably wondering why the sky isn't violet, since that's an even higher wavelength. The easy answer here is that our eyes simply aren't very good at detecting ultraviolet light, so we just see blue. Animals such as birds and bees, which can perceive ultraviolet light, likely see a much different sky than we humans. So the next time you find yourself confronted with the age-old cliche wherein somebody asks in response to a question to which they don't know the answer, "Why is the sky blue?" feel free to tell them exactly why. A little knowledge never hurt anyone. Thanks for watching Now You Know. This episode was written by me with the help from Kendall and Mark Salter. What would you like us to cover next? Leave your suggestions in the comments. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to SalterNet on YouTube, and share it with your friends. Remember, knowing is only half the battle. The other half is sharing what you know.